Namaste, my beautiful queens. This is the second part, his body versus his soul, or his soul versus his body. And I want you to choose one of three decks. And as you remember, in the first part, I have explained what it is, why there is such a big difference between what his soul, how his soul can see you, can feel you, and have wantings and dreams about you, and his body. I have already explained you why such a big difference there can be. And I told you about an experiment which I have done with my friends' readers. So I want you to choose one deck, and I will do 3 sets of 3. So you choose the deck number 1. This is the Arcanum. You can choose the deck number 2, which is the classical deck right here. And you can choose the deck number 3, which is the Sacred Key. And we will see, and we will look his soul, 2 cards, towards you, how his soul sees you, how his soul calls you, what his soul feels or thinks of you, versus 2 cards, his body. I will just explain you the cards which I'm gonna be taking out of the decks. How they are, those I will tell you. So we will start with the deck number 1, the Arcana, my favorite, asking the spirits of fire, earth, air, and water, the guides, the keepers, the divine, the observers, the guardians, to give us the answers to our question. Deck number 1. To my forehead, to my mouth, to my heart. So, his soul, 2 cards. First 2 cards. How his soul sees you. What his soul thinks of you. What his soul wants with you. Everything we will see in 2 cards. I am taking 2 cards out. Card number 1, Magician. Card number 2, 4 of Swords. How his soul sees you. How his soul takes you. Sees you as a magician, as a number 1 Arcana. And also, this is the 4 of Swords, is a very spiritual card. His soul knows one thing about you, because probably his soul knew you for a very long time, that you are very powerful, and you are much more powerful spiritually. We are talking even in the soul level with you, because I already explained you before that Magician is the only card which has all 4 elements on it. It has Swords, Cups, Pentacles, and Wands. This is the independent, very independent spirit with a huge willpower, which knows what you want, and you influence other people, and his soul thinks that you have no fear. Whatever goal you put in front of yourself, you take it, you risk, even if you always choose your life path for each of your incarnations taking tons and tons of challenges onto yourself. You can achieve goals which are absolutely other people wouldn't even think about it. You are not someone who would compromise things you believe are right. And he even gets a little scared from your power. You can influence people. You are not. You can influence people, but people cannot influence you. He sees you as someone very strong. But right here we are having four of swords. Of course, Four of Swords, we see a man in meditative stage. So in a meditative stage, this arcana have it softer than the classical, that his soul thinks that you can be exhausted from all the things you had faced in your life, that you don't give a break to yourself, that you push yourself constantly, but at the same time you're someone who finds the answers inside of you. The card of Four of Swords in this deck is very similar to the card of a Hermit in a classical deck. You have very strong core, your inner balance. If life becomes unbearable for you, you take a little break and look inside for the answers and for guidance. And when you do look inside, of course, you connect with that part of yourself in a realm of spirit. Also, we can see here that his soul feels guilty, feels that he wishes that he had more influence, more connection to his physical body. We're going to see his physical body, but this is also the feeling of guilt. It's because this is like a sleeping soul. We see more of the representation of how he sees you here, and this is you, and this would be you, and more over him. This is the sleeping soul, because you see his eyes closed. But there is this feeling of guilt that he wish, but it's temporarily, of course. Everything in physical is temporarily, but it's temporarily sleeping. So his wish that his soul was more awakened, and awakened mean connected to his physical body. But how his soul sees you, I have already explained. He sees you as the magician, and of course that fact that you are a very ancient soul, I have to tell you that this infinity symbol, I used to draw them. I still do. I draw them unconsciously everywhere I go, like in the books, on the walls, everywhere. I just would draw the symbol before I knew what it means. This also has a name, lemniscate. So of course, very possible that you put too much of goals and things you need to learn, you want to learn onto yourself. And we will look now his physical body, how this man sees you, what he thinks of you, and what he wants from you. We're gonna take 2 cards. What I just said in a previous video. What did I just say? I'm an emperor, I'm an emperor, I'm an emperor. I'm a king, I am a king, I am a king. I am a triple king, quattro king, 15 times multiplied king, emperor. I must keep everything under my control. I owe nothing to nobody. Oi, 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 oi. What did I just tell you? Sleeping soul. I cannot even tell you how much of a sleeping soul he is, unfortunately. This is at the moment of us speaking, and we having completely opposite story here than we had in his soul level. Unfortunately, that's how we saw it so many times. My other readers, girls who did this experiment, soul versus body. How much is the connection of his soul? Oh, it is dangerous. Of his soul with his physical body. Unfortunately, as I already said, right here, sleeping soul, very, very, very sad card. No more, I would say, no more than 2%. Because we have not just an emperor here. We are having here the 5 of Swords. And if you are in relationship with this man, I would say only one word. If you are living together with this man, if you are in relationship with this man, I could only say one word, connect, like consisting of 3-letter words. And those words would be the words run. Why? Not only this is a very cruel man in his physical level, but he considers that he does everything right. And emperor very often is a married man. I hope it's not your case. I hope it's not your case. Let me repeat 100 more times. I hope it's not your case. But not just this man, it's the war between him and you. So subconsciously he understands and realizes who you are. So this is why what makes this situation even more dangerous than in physical level, this man would want to destroy you. You see the man who stands on the battlefield. Around this man you see the dead bodies. So the swords he holds in his hands are those he just killed, playing with the fire. You are playing with the fire. There is no fair play. This is not just a narcissistic type plus emperor right here. This is narcissist, a psychopath, a narcissistic psychopathic. No fair play. He will press you to the wall. He will use his power, and he will use one thing mainly in controlling and manipulating you is their fear. Your fear of losing him, your fear of him getting away from your life, your fear of anything. He hates your strength because his physical took over his soul completely, and it means that his physical hates your inner power. This is a narco-psychopath who wants to destroy you because he understands, he is not stupid, that your spirituality and your soul is extremely powerful and absolutely has nothing to do with because he's weak. He's spiritually weak. His soul is sleeping. He is completely disconnected from his very soul. But you are not, so he will use hate. He will use fear. He will use devalue. He will use all the methods of manipulation. Possible, cold, hot, closer, further, carrot, stick, turning cold, shame, blame, fear, really horrible. He's gonna destroy you. His goal of his physical body is to destroy you and hurt you. And when you hurt, when you suffer, when you cry, he feels empowered. This is a tragic situation, tragic. If you are far away from this man, if this man does not anyhow influence your life, then just stay away from this man. But if you are force forbid in relationship with him, or living together with him, please, if it rings the bell, you have to understand, no, the chances of awaken this, girls, they are, it's a chance of snowball in hell with such cards. The chance of snowball in hell. His physical is what, what in this book he called the torturers. This is unfortunately when their physical body takes complete control over the true essence, and the control and influence of the physical body can be so strong in some cases. Again, in that book you can read it, that sometimes it can even influence and damage this soul itself. So after this physical life is over, such souls stay for dozens of earthly years in so-called isolation, and their energy is being slowly pured and healed by so-called souls healers out there in spiritual realm. With the case in this one, nothing good you can get, only pain. He will compassion and empathy is non-existent. He will whatever you do, you're gonna be hurting. He's gonna blame you. He is going to the scariest thing is that relationship with such a man can lead some women to suicidal thoughts and even suicidal attempts. Please, this is dangerous. It's a victory, and plus he can see not only that his behavior, Emperor, he considers this right. He considers this he does everything right, but please don't expect fair game from him. He's gonna stick you in the back, and he will enjoy your pain and your shock, and he will constantly stick the knives into your bleeding wounds. Please, if it rings a bell, please, this man it's a disaster. This is a card, the deck number 1. You see how different it is. Shocking the level of the soul and the level of the spirit. I am going to take deck number 2 right now. For those of you who chose the deck number 2, his soul, how his soul sees you, what feelings his soul has to you, what his soul wants, what it is from the level of his soul towards you, what it is from his soul towards you, his soul versus his body. 7 of Cups and a Devil. Another case of unfortunately the lost soul. 7 of Cups, we are having dreams, that for his soul you are a dream come true. Someone who possesses all the gifts which are possible to possess. Next to it we see a devil. This is you, this is him. Just in a previous card you were the magician, he was the 4 of Swords. So even at the soul level, unfortunately, his physical influence, the influence of his physical completely took over his soul. Even his soul got influenced by his physical way of life. So devil and 7 of Cups. 7 of Cups is the not just you possess everything what the soul of this man can dream of, but also this is an inner conflict. This man is so lost that even on a soul level things are not clear to him. You are a temptation. He considers that you're a temptation of his soul. Of course, devil wants control. Devil wants you to obey. Devil wants to manipulate. Devil wants control. And on a soul level, it's a soul which is dreaming of the devil taking over to be diminished. But at the same time, unfortunately, the damage of his physical life and physical body and a brain and the life he had and a dark ego, because devil also is connected with a dark ego, it's already been damaged. So this is even sadder case than the first one, because the devil at the level of the soul shows that even his soul had been shadowed by negativity of his physical existence, his physical self, and his physical life. This is one of those souls which would have to go through serious amount of time of recovery when they go back to the level of the spirits. And also at the same time, it's so foggy, everything is so foggy for this man that even on the level of his soul, he sees you as a devil. What it means? Sees you as a temptation, sees you as someone who wants control over him, sees you as someone who wants to make him obey you, sees you as someone who wants him to be a puppet on a strings, when in fact it's an opposite thing. We will see his physical, because this is serious. It's already when he had done so many wrong things in his physical life, that when it got into the level already of the soul, it's like a shadowy soul, a soul which submerged into shadow. So far it doesn't have enough power to take over. It's completely lost. Devil in a soul level means he completely lost his connection with the soul. He's physical towards you. He's holding it upside down. He's physical towards you. We are having the Seven of Wands in reverse position and Ace of Pentacles. Now we are having here the completely interesting case. Seven of Wands in reversed position, and the Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles, this man holds the most important treasure for him in his life is their wealth, to be wealthy, to have money. But the situation is, I don't think he acts towards you anyhow now, this man, and he probably did very little, or he did nothing towards you, or he did something in the past, but now in the future he doesn't, and he will not. Why? This is the card of absence of feelings, and also the card of being suspicious and hesitant. And he thinks in a level of his mind that anything he does towards you is going to bring him down from whatever throne, even if it's not a throne, whatever throne he is on. Because to him, this is the thing he wants the most is pentacles. The thing he wants the most is the money and position. Doing any actions towards you would be loss of job, loss of money, loss of many things, loss of control. His position, if he did something towards you, would be very shaky, very shaky. At the same time, he understands that if situation were different, which is not different, that he could be with you in physical life. If, you were on a different planet or a different, I don't know, everything different. But right here, putting all these cards together, we can clearly see why the devil is here and why the dreams is here. You are a huge temptation for him, and he considers that you tempt him to do something towards you, and this way he's gonna lose whatever he has to lose, he thinks, whether he has something to lose or not. Connection with the souls, unfortunately, here is lost. He doesn't even see you the way you are. He doesn't even see your purity and your light. He sees you completely opposite. And if we have a reverse 7 of Wands here. So the hope for this man to realize and understand anything in the nearest future are very slim. And we're going to take the third deck here. Am I holding it? How his soul sees you, thinks of you, views you. Ace of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles, versus his physical. Now that is hopeful. This one is good. How his soul sees you. There is, of course, some waiting. His soul is tired of waiting. There is some waiting, but his soul sees you as Ace of Pentacles, as someone who possesses everything he ever wanted in his life. But because we are having here King of Pentacles and family card, 10 of Swords, 10 of Cups, he sees you for who you are, and he wants what his soul wants. Surprisingly, the card number 3 shows us that the king, he sees you as his queen. He sees you as the one he wants to spend life with, because we have here the typical family card. We have the 10 of Cups here. We have a man, a woman, and boy and girl playing together here. So this one is a rare case of a man connected with his soul. So the only downside here is 7 of Pentacles. It's going to take a little time, it says. But with such cards, it's fantastic. With such cards, he understands that the building of something like this requires, of course, the work. The planting of the tree requires taking care of the tree and requires fertilizing, and then he will be able to come and have the harvest. But he sees you as a happy, the soul level, happy turning point of his life. He wants to be with you. He wants to marry you. He wants to have a family with you on both the soul level and the body level. He wants to spend many times with you. He wants to be your king. He wants you to be his queen. He wants to have children with you. He wants the level of the soul here. We are having this case 1 in a billion. I would say I would see something like this only in 1% out of 100. When a soul of a man, especially if you are dealing with a man who is earthy, Taurus, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, because we are having the King of Pentacles here. But sometimes you see, sometimes this is the man you don't know yet. I will tell you why. Because the Ace of Pentacles here and the King, and also this figure standing with the back. It is a turning point. It's like a happy coincidence, which is, we know there are never coincidences, but this is the happy coincidence when you find each other. And for him, everything clicks right away, and for you everything clicks right away. So it's probably not a guy you already know. But if it's a guy you already know and what I'm telling you makes sense, then of course this is a great thing. So of course he wants to take care of you. You want to take care of him on the soul level and on the level of the body. This man wants to be with you. There is no conflict of him and soul and heart and mind and ego and non-ego. He is in peace with himself. Plus he is very Pentacle King, so it's a wealthy man, rich man, a man who wants to see his wife, his kids taken care of. And we have the most positive, the happiest card of all, 10 of Cups, which symbolizes not just a family marriage, but a harmony and joy and peace being together. So girls, if you chose the deck number 3, may it be truth for all of you. If you have some doubts, of course you can contact me for a private reading. This is all for this reading. Hope it was helpful. Namaste.